Mommy.
This box has nothing to do with what the video is. Look at this Scyther I got right there. Check out that homie just sitting there. That's from Roxandy for my birthday a little bit early, and he has the same face I do. If I don't get one of these every day, you know what I'm saying? It's the same type energy. All better. Tier list time. We got the fossil. We got the new one. This is going to be the tier list of the century right here. I'm going to be doing the Japanese holos only. There is a couple changes to the English side of the house. Going to go through it. You don't like my tier list? Perfectly fine. Have a template in the description. Make your own dang tier list. I don't care. Have fun with it. We have 16 cards here. We're going to have 2 cards in S. We're going to have 4 cards in A, B, and C tier. So there's going to be 12 occupying those. And there's going to be 2 in D tier. The worst of the worst, in my personal opinion. This tier list is backed by science. We're going to get into it. We have our stack of cards right here. I only like doing tier lists if I have the cards to go through right there. So let's get rock and rolling. We got 16 to go through. Let's go. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah. Fucking that guy right there, that face. All right, what do we got first? Muck. This is probably going to be a lot of people's D tier cards right here if they put one. I personally like Muck. I think Muck is actually a pretty decent Pokemon stat wise, and I've always liked this card. I don't really know why particularly. I get why people wouldn't. Muck is a very cool Pokemon in my opinion, and I like this holo a good little bit. Mitsuhiro Arita did a fantastic job making Muck look like the dirty little boy he is, and Muck backwards of course makes a funny word. How could you not put this sucker in B tier at the very least? B tier Muck. That's where you're going. Good stuff. I like you, buddy. Next. We got Ditto. This is going to be another people's favorite Pokemon to put up high and stuff like that. I completely disagree. I'm not one of the people who like putting this card anywhere. There is a lot of great Ditto cards that exist. I don't personally think this is up there as one of them. I do think the actual 3D graphics and all that stuff, the actual digital looking art style, this is one of those ones that is not personally favorited to me. TJ Kanabuchi is the one that drew this one. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but it's not a bad card. I definitely like all these older style holos, but if I had to put one in the C tier, this would definitely be an easy C tier. Not the worst card in the set, definitely by not. I do appreciate Ditto's goofy gelatinous body, but if I'm gonna be real with myself, this is a C tier card. It's not going any higher than that for me. Put it where you will though. All right, what the hell is next? Mew. So this is one of the few changes from the fossil set from Japanese to English. So in English, this card was a promo, and I believe it was not holo. You had to get this from a specific place. In Japanese, however, they kept this in the fossil set, and it was an actual pullable card. I think that's much better. I think the card looks better like this, and I think having it as an actual pull definitely gives it a little bit more appeal to it. Ken Sugimori, the GOAT, drew this card right here. I personally love this Mew. It's not even a foot fetish Mew or anything like that. I mean, you can say some stuff about the tail. The deviant art stuff started early, but not foot fetish. Beautiful Mew card. Mew always gets fantastic art, gets fantastic treatment. Great card. This is an A tier card for me. Easily going up in A tier, and I mean, I don't think really that shouldn't be too controversial, right? That should be a pretty good place to put Mew. I think so anyway. All right, what we got next? Ooh, we got Moltres right here, drawn by Mitsuhiro Arita. This is a fantastic card. I remember back in the day, and you guys may feel the same way too. I remember pulling legendary Pokemon such as Mewtwo, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, even Dragonite or stuff like that. Just Pokemon that were very difficult to get in the game, and just feeling like such a badass, being like, fuck yes, I got this. I may not have got it in the game yet, but I pulled this card. Cards like this absolutely fascinated me as a kid, and it was purely because of the legendary appeal. I do like Moltres. I do like this one. It's definitely not my favorite of the birds of the Kantoian variety, but I have a very soft spot in my place for Moltres, especially in Pokemon Snap. Knocking the little homie in the volcano and being able to take 1,000 pictures of the dude. Love this card. I really do like it a good little bit. This is going to be a B tier card for me. And I'm not usually a big fan of fire type Pokemon, but Moltres, you get an exception. Right into the B tier you go, big dog. Alright, we guess next. We got Dragonite, fucking Charizard's, cousin over here. A little doofy, goofy boy hanging out with a little rainbow background. They were ahead of their time back in the day. So this card right here, not my favorite from Fossil. There's a lot of people who they just love this card. I don't have any problem with people liking the card or anything. Dragonite's just really not one of my favorite Pokemon to begin with. Kagamaru Himino drew this one. It is a fantastic Fossil card. This is a lot of people's chase actually from Fossil set. I do get it. Some people are big Dragonite fans. I do always get the little rush pulling Pokemon like this, like the pseudo legendaries. But of all the pseudo legendaries that have come out, I do think Dragonite it falls lower on the list as more pseudo legendaries come out. I'm definitely more of a Dragapult, a Salamence person, a Tyranitar. I'm more of that guy stuff. Still, this is definitely not the worst card in the set. It's going to be in the C tier for me. It would definitely be a high C tier, but it's still got to be C tier, unfortunately. Sorry, Dragonite, you don't even got your little purse, your little mail delivery bag. Unfortunately, a male dragon. All right, what's next? Hypno. This this is one of those cards where it's like, I think like this spawned a whole bunch of people and they're crazy like short TikToks. You know how now all days like there's like all these people that are like, guys, did you know the Pokedex is actually really dark?
Here's another 5 of the creepiest Pokedex entries.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Did you know that actually Pokemon had some really dark lore? I mean, Hypno's got to be the original of one of these, right? I mean, basically homie's like a child predator lurking out there trying to bring children to the woods, right? I don't think you can really rank this card any higher than D tier, especially without like, I get it, I understand. I do like Drowsy and Hypno, the Pokemon. I do like their design, but I mean, there's too much baggage there, unfortunately. Hypno, you go in D tier. If there was a fucking prison tier, that's where you would be, but unfortunately there's not. Down at the bottom you go. Ken Sugimori did draw this art, and I mean, like I said, Drowsy, Hypno, they are still got the place, but I mean, you got to pay for what you did, little fool. All right, what is next? Ooh, baby. I don't think there's any doubt where this card's supposed to go right here. So Fossil obviously featured fossil Pokemon, and they featured 2 fossil Pokemon, giving them holographics, one being Aerodactyl, the other being the absolute GOAT Kabutops. Kabutops is one of my favorite Pokemon, actually, from the Kanto era as well. Yes, it is just a coincidence that I also like one that also has scythes on its hand. It's actually one of my favorites. Of course, I gotta put this boy high. I mean, Kabuto is clearly the superior baby fossil from the generation, and evolving into the badass Kabutops. I mean, you can't leave it. Where are you gonna put this thing? Where are you gonna put this other than S? Ken Sugimori, you perfected fossil Pokemon art right here of the Wizard of the Coast era. You made some badass cards. I absolutely adore this card. If I pull this from fossil, I consider this an absolute fucking win. Where else are you gonna put this sucker? Look how cool he is. Look how cool. S tier, double S tier, triple S tier, Omega S tier. Alright, what's next? Oh, well, that's gonna be right next to each other, I see. Okay, whatever. Mitsuhiro Arita drawing the absolute best bird of the Kantoan variety, Articuno. My favorite legendary Pokemon of the original 151. I'm just a big old Articuno fan. Ice types are my favorite type. Bug types are my second favorite type. I'm just a big old fan. I love this card. I think it's fantastic. Another one that you pull from the set and you feel absolutely goated about it. Mitsuhiro Arita, absolutely perfecting this art, making it fucking pop. Look at this card right here. You really feel like I'm holding a fucking ice cube right now. Look at this sucker. And it just looks great. This is how the card art really perfected back in the day. I love this kind of stuff. And of course, Pokemon with the ice type, they get a little bit of the up and up for me. That's how I feel about these cards. But fantastic. Another S tier card, easy. Where else are you going to put Articuno? Where are you going to put the homie? You got to go into S tier. Seafoam Island. I mean, it starts in S right there. You got to put it right in there. Of course. I'm sure some of y'all don't like where I'm putting some of these cards, but like I said, make your own tier list if you don't like it. Let's see what else we got. Ooh, we got Gengar. What my favorite thing about Gengar card, especially this one right here, it's a great card. TJ Kinabuchi drew this card, and I mean, I think this is what they were trying to portray with the card. Gengar is supposed to be like a malevolent little ghost type Pokemon, a little mischievous type, not necessarily evil. I mean, he's not really giving you an evil look. He's looking at you. He's looking at like you had a bag of like Cheez-Its or something. You knew you were holding on to those. He knows you wanted those Cheez-Its. He knows they're your favorite snack, and he just had to eat them. He ate the entire box, and he's looking at you like, hey, you know those Cheez-Its you were looking forward to? Yeah, well, fuck you. I ate them all. These are my Cheez-Its now. He just got that mischievous look about him. I like this card a lot. I think this is one of the better Gengar cards to exist, personally. I love this card. I love this art. I'm going to put this in A tier. Once again, I don't think that's too terribly controversial. A lot of people regard this as the best card from Fossil as well. This and Dragonite really tend to get the best treatment, but I do think there's better cards. However, you cannot deny the appeal of Gengar. Not really too many swirls in the Fossil variety that I have right here. Oh well. Alright, what's next? Ooh, Lapras right here. I like Lapras a good little bit. The thing with Lapras, I've always used it in my Kanto run-throughs of card. I really just like the actual Ice-type Pokemon. There was a few of them, but some of them kind of sucked in my personal opinion. Cloyster used to be better than it actually is. Ken Sugimori drew this one. Lapras was always the old reliable. I'm really surprised they've not done anything of recent times with Lapras, such as like a Mega Evolution or giving it an evolution or a baby form or something like that. You'd really think a fan favorite like Lapras would get some treatment. I do know it got the Gigantamax in the Galar region, Melanie's, ace Pokemon, but you think Lapras would get a little bit more, right? It's one of my favorite cards from the set. You pull this, you're also winning, you're striking the big win. Also no swirls right there. I noticed my jungle set had a lot of swirls, and this one's just swirl lacking. It's not going to be worth... Oh, well, fuck it, right? This is going to be an A tier card for me. I mean, it's easy. Lapras, you see Lapras, you put it in A. There's nowhere else it goes. That's where you... It's a fantastic card. I love it. There you go, a little shiny homie, a little Loch Nessie. What is next? What do we got? Aerodactyl. So, as much as I like the Pokemon Aerodactyl, I really do. Kagamaru and Minnow drew this one. I do think the POV, like right there of the face, like the up close, like someone just turned on their iPhone and they have the front-facing camera just defaulted on. You get the really up close. It very much looks like that. I don't personally like this Aerodactyl as much as I like some of the other ones. I do think Aerodactyl art has gotten better. I don't dislike Aerodactyl. In my personal opinion, though, for this art, you know, looking at this stuff, it's going to be a C tier for me. Definitely not bad. I just wish, you know, it was backed up a little bit. I wasn't getting a full fucking tonsil view. Wish he wasn't just barking at me. But, I mean, it's a good card. There's some people that genuinely like this card a little bit more. I'm not one of them. C tier. They definitely made better fossil Pokemon in this set, a.k.a. Kabutops. You wish you were Kabutops. You wish you had scythes for hands. You wish you were like that. You wish you had had your coffee before you did. I mean, alright, what is next? Haunter! This card. This is a weird one where, like, it kind of seemed like they gave, like, specific Pokemon that weren't, like, maxed out evolutions and certain, like, I know, like, base set had Clefairy. This kind of always gave me those same vibes. Haunter, Ken Sugimori right here. I do like Haunter. I do like this card. I do think it's genuinely, it's a good bit creepier than actually the Gengar one is. This one actually does give you a little bit of creepy eyes, and if you saw this following you around at night, you'd shit your pants. Of course you would, looking at this stuff. Great art, great Pokemon, great stuff. I'm a big fan of this right here. This is Virginia's, like, one of her favorite cards from the set right here. She loves the Haunter. I can see why, but for me personally, it's going to be a B tier. Not a bad card by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely regard other cards higher. I get it, though. I understand. Little dude, he's actually kind of hard to draw on toilet paper as well. You're a little bit harder than you would think. Only a few more left. What do we got? We got the Chunky Raichu, the Fossil Raichu by Mitsuhiro Arita. I like this card a lot. I don't know why, but the chunkier versions of Pikachu and Raichu from back in the day, those actually give me a good bit of nostalgia, especially from the anime and things like that. I love this card. I think this was one of the ones I actually did end up pulling from Fossil back in the day if I ended up getting a couple packs. I know I got a couple Fossil. I know I did get a handful of Jungle. I believe I pulled this card, and I do hold it very high regards as well. Of course, there's other reasons why people would like this card too. Dang, no swirls really in any of my Fossil cards right here, but I mean, what the hell are you going to do anyway? I mean, Raichu, it's a great card. I mean, they always take good care of the Pikachu and Raichu line, in my personal opinion, and a little chunky Raichu. Look, he looks nothing like the Lieutenant Surge one. He looks like he just wants to give you a big old hug, wants to give you a high five. I put you in A tier. There you go. A tier, Mr. Raichu. I like this card. And hey, you're good just the way you are, big dog. I know they're going to change you later in the future to fit a skinnier audience, but you're fine just the way you are, big dog. I guess there's kind of a swirl right there. I guess you can kind of see one. Yeah, I'd call that a swirl. What is next? Ooh, we got Magneton. I prefer this Magneton, actually, to the base set one. I know some people are going to disagree. I just think this one's drawn a little bit better. Maybe it's because Ken Sugimori put pen to paper on this one, but I do like this one a lot. I think this one is the better Magneton of the group. I like the way that it's actually drawn. It's still not like one of the better cards of the set. It doesn't really quite measure up to the ones that are higher, but this is definitely an improvement of Magneton to the original base set one. I'm going to personally give this a C tier, and I think that's a fair spot to put it. It's definitely not the best card in the set, not the worst, and I mean, Magnemite just sticking together to make Magneton. I mean, people always say, oh, completely unoriginal Pokemon. I mean, they literally just took 3 and just stuck them together like magnets. I mean, that's pretty unoriginal and uninspired in my opinion, but what are you gonna do? Alright, what do we got here? Ooh, the actual evolution and birth of foot fetish art right here. We got Hitmon Lee, the superior version of the fighting type duos. Dude, I love Hitmon Lee a hell of a lot more than I love Hitmonchan, and I think the anime episode where like Hitmonchan was one of the ones that was fighting, Team Rocket actually commandeered a Hitmon Lee, and ever since then I just liked Hitmon Lee. It's way better in the games, my personal opinion. It's actually a really good fighting type Pokemon. I mean, Primeape is a little bit faster if I'm not mistaken, but Hitmon Lee hits hard as hell, and this card hits hard as hell. There's people that are going to be like, the foot thing, I mean, this is probably where Foot Fetish Mew came from and stuff like that. That spawned so much Sonic DeviantArt, I'm sure, but you cannot deny the appeal of a good Hitmon Lee. B tier card for me. Absolutely solid B tier card. Well, one of the best, actually. I like the fight. When it comes to fighting types from Kanto, Hitmon Lee, that's the standard in my opinion. One of my favorites, next to Primeape, of course. Which means, last but not least, yep, right here, we got Zapdos. I do not like this Zapdos. Mitsuhiro Rita, this is one of the rare misses for me by you. I don't like this Zapdos. I think the base set Zapdos is a lot better, which is weird, because you would think I'd like this one better because of how it's drawn. It's drawn very similarly to the Magneton, but it doesn't do much for me. I just really like the appeal of the base set. The Rocket Zapdos is a way better card. I love the Rocket Zapdos compared to this one. Zapdos is easily my least favorite of the Kanto and Bird trio, which is weird because the Galarian version of Zapdos is my favorite version of the Galarian ones of those. I don't know why. They made a huge improvement with Zapdos. A lot of people love Zapdos. It's their favorite legendary Pokemon. Articuno personally is mine. What are you gonna do? But I mean, I get it. For me, this is the last D tier card. I mean, it doesn't do it for me. Not my favorite. Not particularly a bad card, but easily the worst amongst its peers. That's all I got. Appreciate it, virgins. Once again, you don't like my tier list, make your fucking own. There's a template in the description. Have a good day. See ya. And that face right there, that's the face of me about to go to work. And yeah, I need, once again, need one of these. Ooh.